I'm a cholo,
but not really though.
I got a fro too,
But not really though.
I'm Frodo,
But not really though.
I love the po-po,
But not really though.
I'm not God, but my G is OD. You the type of motherfucker take a pic with police. You can never see my swag like a ghost with no sheet. Girls no sun name, cause tongue game is Yoshi. Woo! It's that pussy kamikaze. Walk around with hella girls, dog. Obby, you never get no girls cause your game is too sloppy. That's why you walk around with balls fluid than a knobby. I'm absurd with these verses. Nerd word perfect. I swerve herbs quick, I murk shit. You push league just like a merkin. On these beats I go beast like Andy Serkis. Feeling myself like Madonna in the 80s. Out of this world, Captain Kirk couldn't phase me. Try to play me and have to pay a fucking late fee. I'm on that future shit, dog. I'm too ravey. I'm too hyphy.
But not really though.
You just like me.
But not really though.
I charge a slight fee.
But not really though.
I might wifey.
But not.
I weigh about 250. Walk up in the spot like it's me. Everybody wanna fuck with me. Heels on my face so I'm pretty. Girls wanna kiss me. Don't do shit if the money's iffy. Check my wiki so you can see my facts. I'm a grizzly. You so Disney, I don't fuck with rats at my city. BX, I put it on the map. I'm so busy, there's a waiting list to get on my sack. Ooh, goddamn man, my flow so crazy. I walk up in the track just like shit don't face me. And the ladies said they wanna have my baby. My business model simple, man. Fuck you, pay me. I'm out that paper, the swag Don Draper, you bonchon. I'm a time bomb with a rom-com chasing my mind's eye, Cyclops laser. Probably hop out my pine box at my wake like fuck it, I'll die later.
Big, what? Yeah, you know me, mommy. Diverse as fuck and I'm so sex posy. I'm trying to get bucks, so let's start the party. Everybody jump up like you trying to ollie on a skateboard. I'm always fresh like I stay born. I'm trying to cut with no safe word. You act like you trying to say more, but when we go where your crew be, we don't say you pussies like J-porn. Man, I'm OD savage, man, you only average. You should be embarrassed, man. I hopped out the womb with an OG status. Might release my album on a police scanner. Might have the world trying to learn some Spanish. Might have your girl trying to know these ballads, man. Blame my parents, man. I got no manners. They just told me to tell the world kiss my handles.
Get the fuck up now, cause the music loud. Get the fuck up now, cause the weed so loud. Get the fuck up now. Get the fuck up now. Get the fuck up now, cause the music loud. Get the fuck up now, cause the weed so loud. Get the fuck up now. Get the fuck up now.
I'm like, all right, you know, it's like Ferris Bueller, like I'm just like by myself in the apartment and not a care in the world. I don't even have the sheets on me, you know, and I hear like a knock. So it's like, all right, that's weird. I thought it was next door. I didn't hear the knock on the door. I was like, oh, okay. It starts getting louder. And I'm like, well, you know, this is like I figured this would be the second pounding. I had a pounding in bed and there was like, yeah. So
Yo, my money to the brink, your money just extinct. You should eat a Tide Pod cause you wash and you stink. Want me to think you get girls, dude, why is you lying? I don't buy it, man, you made them chicks up. John Hughes, weird science. Went to public school in NYC, so I'm stupid with the words, fuck a SAT. Smart enough to go to college, but not for free. Only eat what was allowed in the EBT. While y'all was filling out FAFSAs, I was trying to get my money faster. Trying to be a model, get my racks up. Trying to be the flyest motherfucker, that's my NASA. Realist paint a picture, verified any caption. Fuego, 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 fuego. Too hot, fuego, you not, fuego. Cops, fuego, new block, fuego, 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 caliente, fuck you,
I steal your girl, smooth, suavemente.
Young senorita, eat it like a pita. Pretty in the face, I'm the new black Mona Lisa. I'm the new black Amex, no visa. Just to get a taste, he applied for the visa. Your girl hating, but your man's a believer. Got him switching sides like Vegeta. To beat Gohan, you gon' need God and Freezer. Rest in peace, now your whole fam sitting shipper. My life bonita. I get more cheese than Chester the cheetah. Dipped in a bowl of Velveeta. Mira, the fuego is off. The meters is ether. I got make you follow the leader.
Fuego, 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 fuego.
I'm the new black Mona Lisa. I'm the new black Amex, no visa. Just to get a taste here.
You stink. Want me to think you get girls do? Why is you lying? I don't buy it, man. You made them chicks up. John Hughes, weird science. Went to public school at NYC, so I'm stupid with the words, fuck a SAT. Smart enough to go to college, but not for free. Only eat what was allowed in the EBT. While y'all was filling out FAFSAs, I was trying to get my money faster. Trying to be a model, get my racks up. Trying to be the flyest motherfucker, that's my NASA. Realist paint a picture, verified any caption. Fuego, 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 fuego. Too hot, fuego, you not, fuego. Cops, fuego, new block, fuego, 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 caliente, fuck you, I meant it. I steal your girl, smooth, suavemente.
Young senorita, eat it like a pita. Pretty in the face, I'm the new black Mona Lisa. I'm the new black Amex, no visa. Just to get a taste, he applied for the visa. Your girl hating, but your man's a believer. Got him switching sides like Vegeta. To beat Gohan, you gon' need God and Freezer. Rest in peace, now your whole fam sitting shipper. My life bonita. I get more cheese than Chester the cheetah. Dipped in a bowl of Velveeta. Mira, this fuego is off. The meters is ether. I got make you follow the leader.
Fuego, 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 fuego. Too hot, fuego, you not, fuego. Cops, fuego, new block, fuego, 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 caliente, fuck you, I meant it. I steal your girl, smooth, suavemente.
Cortado. Okay. Yo, check it. I'll take no dang loss, scary with the 35 return to Alex Ross Perry. Listen up, all you films just suck. Go to exit when y'all minutes is up. I'll sit no mess, I don't fuck with no drama. I just smoke that shit out of gravity's rainbow. Yeah, what I serve got the racks and checks. Kill myself cause my life is infinite jest. Hey, little birdie, there's a killer on the streets. The flow sweet like treats and J Dilla beats. You just play and you lie, I just stay and I strive to get high. And I bought that 1975 like yeah, okay. We out here blowing Doja, yeah, I slayed all day. Up in her daddy's Rover, yeah, she paid. I stay, she look like Dasha Nekrasova. Oh, I'm canceled, oh, it's over. I mean, damn, it's really over. Please talk to me with the right talk. Drinks stay pouring up at Night Hawk. I just fell in love with an actress. Tab still open up at Max Fish. Yeah, we up in different brackets. Yeah, got me marching right into madness. Last shot, yeah, I gotta have it. Fuck no, I ain't gonna pass it.
CD walking free, I just take the bag and flee. I'm just talking to the screen, like this shit is you and me. Call up staff for my flat, or you gotta pay the fee. I ain't no rat, what's on track? I'm just the act you gotta see.
Like yeah, okay, we out here blowing Doja, yeah, I slayed all day. Up in her daddy's Rover, yeah, she paid. I stay, she look like Dasha Nekrasova. Oh, I'm canceled, oh, it's over. I mean, damn, it's really over.
All right, we got the card. Let's go. Line it up. Oh, you guys look great. You dropped the SD card.
Yeah, got me marching right into madness. Last here blowing Doja, yeah, I slayed all day. Up in her daddy's Rover, yeah, she paid. I stay, she look like Dasha Nekrasova. Oh, I'm canceled, oh, it's over. I mean, damn, it's really over. Please talk to me with the right talk. Drinks stay pouring up at Night Hawk. I just fell in love with an actress. Tab still open up at Max Fish. Yeah, we up in different brackets. Yeah, got me marching right into madness. Last shot, yeah, I gotta have it. Fuck no, I ain't gonna pass it.
CD walking free, I just take the bag and flee. I'm just talking to the screen, like this shit is you and me. Call up staff for my flat, or you gotta pay the fee. I ain't no rat, what's on track? I'm just the act you gotta see.
Like yeah, okay, we out here blowing Doja, yeah, I slayed all day. Up in her daddy's Rover, yeah, she paid. I stay, she look like Dasha Nekrasova. Oh, I'm canceled, oh, it's over. I mean, damn, it's really over.
ICMTU, which is short for I Can't Make This Up, is a live comedy show hosted by AJ Dunk, spelled all caps. ICMTU brings people together from different backgrounds by sharing true stories that have happened in their lives. Today's episode goes to the one, the only Freetown Road Project. Now, I shout out this restaurant a lot. It's because they food hits. This shit, woo! You hear my dog right there? That's Zip. Zip is making the noise because he wants some of this Freetown Road Project. It's West Indian cuisine located at 640 Newark Ave, Jersey City, New Jersey. So when you're in Jersey City, make sure you stop by there and tell Chef Claude that AJ Dunk sent you. Because I'm telling you, this food is good. And he says that they have oxtails. So when you go there, order it, enjoy it, and go back again. All right. Now, hope you enjoy the show. And now, welcome your host, AJ Dunk, spelled all caps. Hey, what's good? What's good? Hello, hello, hello. How's everybody feeling? Woo! I can't hear you. All right, so just you notice I can't make this up, and we keep it real here. So I tried to keep fresh. I tried to stay fresh, but my clippers was messing up, and I do it myself, so that's why I look a little like this. And if you hear some noise, if you hear a little, this is what it is. Look at him. Make it. Yeah, you want to? What you got to say? All right, now sit down, sit your ass down and relax. All right, the show's starting. Okay, everybody. Now, I want you to, in the comments, let me know what's going on. Let me know what's good, how you feeling, how you doing, what's going on. We're talking to you over there on Instagram. I'm talking to you on Twitch. I'm talking to you on YouTube. I'm talking to you on Facebook. I'm talking to you that's borrowing a friend's phone right now because you're trying to watch the show. I'm talking to every last one of you. Now, this is the time. I want you to know. Wait, before we get into that, I'm going to let you know where you are. Right now, you are on the Litverse. When you come to the Litverse, you will catch shows that looks of people more like this and less like this. Just to let you know that we have comedy here too. We have material. When you turn on the TV, you might see more of this, but here you're going to see a lot of this. We welcome this, but we appreciate this more. Now, if you subscribe, you will see that on Wednesdays, there's Talking Shit with Marlon and Greg. Thursdays, you have ICMTU with your boy, AJ Dunk. On Fridays, we have the Goss. Saturdays, we have Psychic Bars. The schedule does switch, but subscribe. That's so you do know what you're in for. It's a lot of shows. Make sure you subscribe. That is the Litverse. Now, relax. All right? We got a show going on here. Thank you. Now, I'm going to take this time. I'm going to let him know, let you all know. It's time to get your sips, your smokes, and take your shits, all right? We're going to give you time to do all that because nobody just goes into the office and sits down and starts working immediately. No. You got to prep for this. So I'm going to give everybody some time to do that. Let me know in the comments what you're sipping on, what you're smoking on, and who you're shitting on because I don't know what kind of shit you're taking. All right, so without further ado, let's get it. Ooh, what you sipping on? smoking on? Hey. My guy Zip, you good? Ooh. The bass. Oh, what you sipping on? What you smoking on? Who you shitting on? Get it! Let me know in the comments, let me know. Get it right. Hey, all right, we are here. Let me give my man something, a little snack on. All right, sit down over there. Have a seat. Yes, now relax, okay? Thank you. Got to get them situated. Ooh, water, brisket, these bills. Yeah, you better shit on them shit. Bills. Shit on them, Jones. Fuck them. Yes. Sipping on that water. Smoking brisket. There you go. That's going to take a long time. There we go. I feel you. All right, everybody, welcome. Now, I hope that you're back, got your sips, got your smokes, and everybody in there that's really taking the shit, take your time. Wipe your ass, because you're going to see it later in your drawers, and you don't want that, all right? So take your time and come over when you are ready. Okay, I apologize if the internet is a little... The weather is perfect here. So could be my bills, but we are here. Okay, now there's only one other thing to do before we start the show, and that is have the intro by the one, the only group Salt Pepper Ketchup, with my guy Jesus from the Bodega Cat on the vocals. Welcome to another episode of I Can't Make This Up. I am your host, AJ Dunk, spelled all caps. You can find me at www.ajdunk.com. And from there, you've got my Facebook, my Instagram, my Twitter. It's all located at ajdunk.com. So make your way over there once you're done here, and you can enjoy everything that is there. I've got sketches, I've got skits, I've got stand-up, I've got soup of the day. I've got all that you need for your enjoyment. You will find and get a laugh, and enough that you will want to share with a friend, and they'll tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend that you know this friend. So make sure you go over to ajdunk.com once you are done here at the Litverse. Subscribe, share, and just have fun. That's what it's about. All right. Because remember, laughter is always in style. Now, you know that I consider all my guests to be special. I'm talking to you on YouTube, you on Instagram, I'm talking to you on Twitch, you on Facebook, you that could just hear if you can't see, if you deaf, blind, everybody. I'm talking to every last person. You know that I consider my guests to be special, every last one of them. If you're taking time out of your day, I have to consider you to be special. Time is something that you cannot get back. So if you would, please, I know we can't hear where you are, but start putting your hands together, all right? Slow clap, slow clap, slow clap. Now, this person, if you're on Instagram and you're looking for me and you put my name in and you spell it wrong, you might get this person right here, all right? So what I want you to do is clap, 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 and put your hands together for Aj Sherman.
Hello. Thank you for having me. This is awesome. I've wanted to be on this for such a long time. This is so cool. Thank you for having me. Very fun.
No doubt. No doubt. Okay. All right. I see you explain where you are right now.
Yeah. You know, I'm working on building out my studio so that it looks cool to hang out. But most of the time when I'm doing my work, you have to be in the place where you're working. So this is my desk. This is the green screen I use for video calls. And behind me is my radiator and hot water heater. But let's not look at that. I got to get better with the green screen software. That is next on the purchase of telecommunicating stuff.
All right. I didn't want to jump to any conclusions.
No, it's okay.
Just assume that you're a big fan of lime green. Like there's people that maybe just have a whole apartment with those colored walls. So I had to jump in.
No, I wish. And, I kind of wish it was like Pee Wee Herman when he would pull the thing back down and he's in a different place every time. That's like my dream, but we're almost there with this,
Okay, there you go. There you go. There you go. All right. So, everybody, once again, welcome today's guest, Aj Sherman. If you don't mind, would you please tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So I am a musical comedian. I've been saying guitar comic for maybe the last couple of weeks because that's explicitly what I do. I have been playing guitar since I was 15 years old and kind of got into comedy in the last couple of years after doing music, and we'll talk all about that today. So I'm a musician. I'm a content monster. It's kind of something I've also been saying. I do a podcast. I've started playing on TikTok, which is very difficult. But yeah, that's who I'm. That's kind of where I'm coming from.
Okay. All right. Now I have to ask because I mentioned it in the intro. How did you come up with the Instagram name AJ Don't?
Exactly. Yes. I'm so excited we're talking about this here.
It has to do with your story. Then we'll wait for it.
No, nothing to do with it. Okay. Two parts of it. Well, I'm an outgoing person. I'm inclined to do many, different activities and different things. And I heard throughout, growing up and adolescence, AJ, don't. So it was kind of like I felt empowered by that because I wanted to do it anyway. So, I don't, but I do. And that's kind of where I'm at. And people want to be cautious, but,
There you go. You drop off those last two letters. That's what I'm talking about. Keep going. Do your thing. Now,
thank you.
I like to check in with all my guests because I get guests from all over. I've got guests from across the water. I got guests from California. I got guests from Texas, Ohio, and other places. Now, I'm repping Jersey City. Where is it that you are repping today?
Raritan Borough, New Jersey. I was living in Jersey City up until last October. I had moved in the summer of 2016. I had an absolute blast of a time living there. It's an amazing community. Learned a ton about, the local food scene, the comedy scene, the music scene. It was very fun to walk to places, and that was a really nice ability. Now I cannot do that so much.
I
liked it.
I understand all of that. And if you're not from Jersey City or you haven't been to Jersey City and you're watching this, take his word and my word for it. It was all factual in what he said. For some reason, just recently, they named it a great place where you can walk. I don't know why, but it's a place where you can walk.
You know, it's got pedestrian, nice streets, and you know, I lived in Exchange Place, which was very corporate for my taste, but the being able to walk down to the waterfront and seeing New York City and getting that vibe every day was a really supreme feeling, you know, and I miss it desperately because it was such an invigorating and exciting time to be there. And then with this whole schmandemic, it's been crazy, but you know, I loved it, and the neighborhood that I lived in, just to being able to walk up to Grove Street and go do stuff. Wow,
Right.
it was fun.
Now I'm gonna say I advise you do the things that he's saying. I'm about what you can do, but you just gotta look like you know what you're doing. I'm the one that'll go where the graffiti is. All right. So if you walking down streets where it might be people gathered around a garbage can with fire in it, that's where I am. I like to look at the graffiti. I'm walking around all those different areas. But for those that aren't ready for that life, go to the waterfront and look at the water and enjoy New York City.
I feel you, dude. I'm also such a huge street art fan. Like I was really a fan. And there's a lot of my old Instagram dedicated to a ton of that stuff. And it was really fun. I've interacted with online a couple times, and I actually bought one of his shirts. Sean Lugo, the guy who does the wheat paste street art all across Jersey City. That guy is the man. And I really loved he had a Garfield with a Boba Fett head, and it was like really wackadoodle. And everybody comes up and like, who is this shirt? And I always tell them, Sean 9 Lugo. Go check him out. He's awesome.
All right, I'll keep my eye out for that. All right, okay, all right. Now, are you ready for me to explain to everybody what is about to happen?
Oh, so ready.
Okay, all right. I don't care if you've seen every single episode. I don't care if this is your second time and you have dementia and you forget everything that you've seen. I don't care if this is your first time. Don't worry about it. I'm about to explain what is about to happen. So, on ICMTU, I can't make this up. Your host, me, AJ Dunk, spelled all caps, invites guests here to share true stories that have happened in their life. Now, while today's guest, Aj Sherman, tells his story, I want you to comment. Comment. If you type with one finger, go ahead, take your time. Send. If you type with all your fingers, send. If you type with your head, go ahead, send. I'll try to decode that too. Comment. I will be reading the comments. I will be listening to AJ, and I will also be making my own notes, because once the story's finished, I am going to be asking questions. Hold on. What did that you said? You said why? What? Okay, yes, you can ask questions too. Only thing you have to do is when you're commenting, put a question mark behind it. Put a couple question marks. So if you want to say, hey, does that green screen turn into dinosaurs? Hey, if it pertains to the story, type your question, all right? And then we will pop it up on the screen. For example, boom. Oh, look at his setup. Hey, so comment. If you got that, comment. I'm going to be reading the comments. I'm going to be listening to the guests, and I'm also going to be writing my own comments down. So if everybody's got that, we have one more thing to do before we go to the story. Now, AJ, are you listening?
So listening, yes.
All right, I have a serious question to ask you.
Please ask it.
Do you pinky promise that this story is true?
100%. 120%.
All right, if you would, please share the story that you cannot make up.
Well, it's got a good beginning, middle, and an end. All right. So we're going to talk about kind of the buildup, the incidents, and the aftermath. Okay. So the buildup. I'm 10 years old. I'm riding with my dad in the car. A song comes on. My dad's a drummer. My dad actually played with Tito Puente at Windows on the World in the World Trade Center. Great Latin percussionist for a Jewish guy. Really, he was really good. Anyway, I'm tapping off beat to a song, right? And he grabs my hand and he throws it on the dashboard, and he taught me rhythm to Elvis Costello and Burt Bacharach Toledo. And that's my understanding of getting rhythm. Okay. Timing was very important to my dad. Rhythm of the music is also very important. So that's kind of like the beginning of the story, right? So years go on, and my dad was a musician. I come from a very musical family. My grandmother was a canary in big bands. My uncle was an A&R guy at CBS, which means he went out and found new talent. He has a producer credit and a record from Meatloaf, Bad Outta Hell. And he was kind of in CBS for a while. My other uncle, he was a music teacher at Queens College and played the Moog synthesizer, was one of the first people to play the Moog. My dad played in punk bands, played at CBGB's, The Knitting Factory, whatever. So music's very important to me. So I started playing guitar. And I played guitar, and I was a good guitar player, and I was a good singer, but I was a great guitar player singer. And I really was very good at doing both together. And I loved it. And I played in like a Dave Matthews cover band in high school. And I played a ton when I went on to college, doing folk nights, doing folk singer-songwriter stuff. And I really enjoyed it. And I found a lot of enrichment out of that. But as we all know, in 2009, 2010, I wouldn't say that a guy showing up with the acoustic guitar would be necessarily the life of the party and more of the butt of the joke. So I stopped kind of doing that, and I got really into virtual DJing, VDJing, which really became popular with the computers that we have now. And I really loved mashup music. Mashup music is very fun for me. I still listen to Girl Talk, and I've seen him actually, but other than that, Lou and Placido are also very good, but I really loved that music. And then I met a guy who was doing virtual DJing while I was abroad, and he was a really awesome dude, and he kind of taught me some rudimentary stuff. And with my musical skills, I kind of took that together and kind of combined it and started, virtual DJing parties here and there around places. Will I say I was a professional DJ? Absolutely not. I do not know what to do on the 1 and 2s. I do not know what to do with vinyls or CDs. Nothing. I can't scratch. I can't do it. I'm sorry. But I can beat match, and I can find the songs that work together, and I can listen. And I made some really fun, I think, exciting mixes. My favorite one was 2009, 2010, bringing it back to Major Lazer. I loved Major Lazer. That first album was super duper fun. All those music videos were amazing. So they had a great song called Pon de Floor, which was actually Who Run the World Girls. That hook is actually that song.
Yes.
And then I combined it with a great discotheque remix of a Radiohead song called Everything in Its Right Place. That's like my major original mashup. I loved that one. I played it all the time. That is the buildup of the story. So I came home. I came home from studying abroad, and I started virtual DJing at frat houses at SUNY Albany in upstate New York. All right. Now, upstate New York, a little bit different than Jersey City, kind of a different vibe, but you're still in Albany, which is a city. And I was living in, what was colloquially called the student ghetto. Just a whole bunch of row houses, really run down. You could smell the natty light. You could smell the pee all over. That's where I lived. Hamilton Avenue, if anyone's very curious. And, it was very fun. It was very exciting. To this day, I'm always the kind of person who'd rather work the party than be at the party. You know what I mean? Like, I'd rather be cooking or serving food or DJing or, I even did event planning later on. That's a different story. But I would rather work it. So I would go to these parties, I'd DJ, you meet people, females. That was fun. But now, we're coming up to the incident. So it's spring of the year 2011. I'm about to graduate. And that semester, I had won a grant through the department I was studying under to write a thesis paper, a senior thesis. Not always done, but I was ambitious and an asshole. So I really pushed to go do this. And I won a grant through the school. And I'm writing, in case anybody's very, very interested, I'm Jewish. I'm very interested in being Jewish. For a long time, I thought I was going to be a rabbi. That didn't work out. Anyway, I was very interested before Hamilton in Caribbean Jewry, because Alexander Hamilton, he was born to a Protestant mother out of wedlock. And because of this, on the island of Nevis in the Caribbean, he wasn't able to go to the Protestant Christian school. He went to Jewish schools. So there was a lot of, fervent archaeology being done down in the Caribbean, looking at these older, 400, 500-year-old settlements. And I was very interested in that. And I wanted to that was my focus. So I win the grant and I'm doing it. That was in the fall, but now we're in the spring. In the city of Albany, SUNY Albany, there is a party called Kegs and Eggs.
Here we go. Oh, shit.
Now, only really crazy people drink and eat eggs at the same time. And only students would drink green beer and green eggs at the same time. That's fucked up, right? Because it's a St. Patrick's Day celebration held on the Saturday before the holiday. So, and it starts very early. It starts at 6:00 in the morning. So I was, I had on my green shit. I had my green Yankees hat. I'm ready to go. Somebody's like, "Hey, AJ, we're having a party at our frat house. We'd love you to DJ the basement." I said, "Absolutely no problem." So the night before, I'm very excited. I pick out my whole set list. I'm ready to go. I'm thinking this is going to be great. No big deal. And we're just going to go on from here. So I wake up 5, start smoking like a goddamn chimney, smoking out of every orifice in my body, drinking, starting to, not just beer and whiskey, Jameson together, getting a little messed up. Got a little messed up. Bring all my stuff over. All right. And it was only across the street, so it wasn't a lot. But this isn't like a professional DJ setup. I want to be clear on the record here because I know we're live with real people. And this isn't like I've got like a kit and it comes out of my truck and like I put it down and I fold it up. No. This was my computer and the stereo system we had in our house and a mixer that I had rigged together. And I'm like, all right, this is what we got. And I start DJing. Approximately 6:15, 6:20. Okay. I notice people start coming in, starts getting good. And I'm still doing like, what I would call classic mashup, which is not really danceable, right? You're not like, it's not super heavy on, we need to get everybody dancing right now. It's just kind of like fun music, filling the atmosphere, getting a good vibe going. And then I start to switch over into the dancing stuff. And then I looked up and I had to have about 80 people in this basement. It was a pretty big basement, 80 people, 60, 80 people dancing, losing their fucking minds. And it's a really fun time. And I look back down at my computer and I look back up and everybody is gone. And I'm like, what's happening? And I'm like playing and I have all my equipment that I've rigged up to get here. And my 2 idiot buddies from across the street come down the stairs and they're like, AJ, the cops are here. We got to go. And I'm like, okay, I have all my shit. We don't live here. Nobody's down here. Let's see what happens. Right. But 2 seconds later, 3 riot cops, not regular police, like cops in riot gear come down the steps. And they look at me from across the room, maybe like 20, 30 feet away. And they're like, you're under arrest. And I'm like, so I stand there. I have all of my shit is here. Right. And there's nobody in sight. There's nobody here. It's just me. So I'm like, okay. And they start screaming at me because cops at 6:00 in the morning in riot gear are not friendly. No. They're not happy to be there. And I do want to say, not super funny, I realize I am a white person and that going down differently could have been very different for anybody who didn't look like me. And I do not take that away from my white privilege. And I know that is crazy because, somebody else doing a similar thing, they may not be here. So let's just state that for the record. But these guys got me.
Respect.
And they threw me up the stairs. It was not an agreeable march or a walk. They threw me up a flight of stairs. Okay. So we get into the kitchen and we start standing there. And this is the funny thing about 2011 and what we don't think about now is we didn't have these yet. They weren't around all the time. So I'm on like a LG chocolate. And these cops are standing over me and they're looking at me and they're like, get the people who are here. And they're screaming at me, asking for the organizers who are running the party to get here, who live in this house, because they are going to be also, they're in trouble too. And they're screaming at me. And there's like maybe like 3 or 4 of them. And they're just standing around me. And I'm just redialing on my phone. And they're not picking up because they've locked themselves in the upstairs apartment and they're not coming out. And I knew that, but I'm still going through the motions of trying to call them. So at this point, they're frustrated with me and they're like, no, man, we're not going to, you're under arrest. So I'm like, okay. So we walk outside. And when I tell you, AJ, it is the entire population of the party is across the street. All right. And they're watching me come out. And keep in mind, I'm dressed in bright fucking green, green like pants.
The background.
Yeah, exactly like this. So like I come out, everybody sees me. My 2 idiot friends from across the street, they come over and they're like, AJ, what's going on? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm under arrest. So they throw me in the back of the car. My friends are fighting with the cop. Like, you can't do that to them. And I'm also not arguing. You know what I mean? Like I had realized what I had done. And I was already like, that like borderline messed up where I wasn't arguing back, and I've never really argued back. I didn't want to. They were in riot gear. They weren't regular cops. I was afraid, so I wasn't screaming back like you can't do that to me, and I don't know who I am. Like no, like it was just like all right, whatever's happening. They threw me in the back of the cop car, so I'm in the back of the cop car for maybe like 30 to 45 minutes, and it was pretty brutal because it's early in the morning. You have I can't see what's going on. And I'm just like, holy shit. Like, this is like absolutely crazy. And I'm so fucked. Just thinking in my head, I'm so fucked. And I'm like, oh my God, this is like ridiculous. I can't even imagine this happens. So the time goes by. The guy opens the door. He pops me out. He undoes the cuffs. And he's like, here's your ticket. And I'm like, a ticket? And he is like, here's your ticket, noise violation. I look at the ticket. I Google it up on the internet really quick. Back in my house, not on my phone.
No, not on the LG chocolate.
No, not on the LG chocolate, in my house. And I'm like, oh shit, I'm okay. This isn't even a misdemeanor. It's a violation. Okay, no big deal. They gave me a ticket. There's a fine. I pay the fine. We move on with our lives. No problem. Okay. At that point, I called my girlfriend at the time. I told her what was going on. She was like, okay, that's cool. Whatever, shit happens. I'm like, all right, no big deal. And I went on to like go and, kind of drink and smoke the day away. So at that point, unbeknownst to me, this is a little bit at the end of my incident, but the incident that's happening outside my house is the real incident. Whereas there is a full-blown student riot happening outside. Okay. There's microwaves being thrown from 3rd-story buildings. People are flipping cars. There's a great video on YouTube of like this fat college chick, like charging a police officer, obviously a white girl, but charging a police officer, like really crazy shit. Right. And I didn't know this because I was inside tired, recuperating from kind of what was going on. And we didn't really, because we lived a block away from where 2 of the cops were, the cars were flipped. We didn't fully understand what was happening out there. Okay. So that's Saturday. Sunday comes around and it's the beginning of cell phone video. So the rich kids who had Blackberries, the rich kids who had phones, nice phones, they're taking videos, and you can go and find these up online. Which is crazy because this is before anybody even said to anybody, watch what you post. This is before anybody's like, don't incriminate yourself with stupid shit on the internet. Nobody knew that. We all just thought, okay, whatever. So it's starting to, so now Sunday rolls around. It's all over the papers. It's all over the internet. And you're just literally seeing on Facebook these just like crazy videos, And you're like, holy shit, that's nuts. And I'm like, okay. So then Sunday night at like maybe 7:00, I got an email from my academic advisor who's running the paper I'm writing. And he's like, Andrew, I need to see you in my office first thing tomorrow morning. And I said, okay, cool. And I'm stupid. I'm like, oh, he just wants to talk to me about my paper. It's fun. No big deal. We'll go see him. Maybe he wants to be friends, whatever. Walk in. He slams the Albany paper. It's called the Times Union down on the desk. And he says, Andrew Sherman got arrested this weekend. Was that you? And I said, yes. And he reamed me out harder than anybody has ever reamed me out in my whole life. I got drunk at Cedar Road Park in my neighborhood and lost my parents' $800 Trek bike. And a neighbor came over to my parents' house and asked if everything was okay because my dad was screaming at me that hard. This was worse than that. Okay? Like, this was on a different level. Like, you're a failure. You're representing the school. Like, you're never going to accomplish anything. This is the end of grad school for you. You ruined your career. And he's really just laying into me. And I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy. So if you scroll up, I'm in there. So there he is right there. Charged with unnecessary noise. So holy shit. So at that point, and this is the aftermath part of the story. At that point, I'm like, I got to go tell my parents. All right. Because they don't know yet. I'll drive down to Long Island. I'm from Long Island. I drove down to Long Island and I told them, and they were not pissed. They kind of accepted and knew that I was a musician and kind of a rabble rouser. And they were like, if this ticket says noise violation and you're DJing a party, you are not part of this riot that happened. Right. And they kind of took my side in a very big and supportive way. And I'm very grateful to them about that. But it didn't help with the school because we made Glenn Beck. Okay. So Glenn Beck on Fox News in 2011 is talking about, well, these kids are crazy. And like, I took that as kind of a badge of honor, and that's a little bit fucked up on my end. But at the same time, like, it's still like because we got that national media attention, the school had to do one of those zero tolerance policy things. So they did what's called the academic tribunal. All right. Sidebar. I went to court. I did community service. Nobody was even mad. It wasn't even hard. Right. I did 30 hours. No big deal. Not a big problem. It's expunged. It's not on my record. But this academic tribunal full of goody-tooty, hoity-toity kids was not nice to me. And the craziest part was that, so it was a 3-day hearing. So the first day hearing is like they open up the case. They explain what's going on. They're explaining to me how they're taking this very seriously, how I'm probably not going to walk at graduation, how, there's a lot at stake here. And I was like, okay, that's fine. No big deal. The school told me we could not have a lawyer. So we didn't have a lawyer. Come to find out that was bullshit. Could have had a lawyer the whole time. Assholes. Anyway, day 2. And this is like the worst thing. I have nightmares about this, AJ. The arresting officer came in. Officer Orr. And he came in and he told this like crazy story. That like I was drunk and I was clearly, inebriated and I was not cooperating and that I wasn't doing what they were saying and that I was resisting. And we literally printed out the Verizon bill showing I called this guy like 10 times in 4 minutes, like crazy. Right. And they're really going pretty hard at me, the students. And then of course, like my idiot, like no self-esteem self, like I go out, I shake his hand. Like, I wish I could take that second back from my life. You know what I mean? Like, that's like easily one of the top like 5 things I regret the most. Like this guy, like he kind of fucked up my whole shit. And I shook his hand. Why did I do that? I don't know. The next day is the arraignment where or the ruling where they tell you what's going to happen. So because the other like hearings were going on concurrently with mine, like they're happening at the same time. They were seeing the craziness that these other kids had done. Like you can go online and you can really see some pretty violent shit that is different from making music. And they actually were okay. And they gave me academic probation and they said I could walk at graduation, which was cool. So I was happy with that. Academic probation got expunged after my record, but because of my professor, it really dashed my chances at grad school and becoming a rabbi and really doing anything like that. It was kind of done at that point. So at this point in my life, like I said, I had stopped playing guitar. I'd stopped performing. And after I got this arrest, it really turned me off from wanting to do anything with music ever again, ever. Just done. I was done. I was out. Right. I'm ready to be done. And I felt like it ruined what I was doing and that I was bad for having done it. So 6 months later, I joined a startup social media company in Manhattan, and we're doing large scale events. I did every kind of event. I did comedy events. I did dating events. We did happy hours. We did large 3,000 person galas. We did large 2,000 person like mega parties, like all different kinds of stuff. I have all the documents to prove it. But I was like so into producing parties and loving the party atmosphere, I started to get the errancy thing to get back and play music again. But I couldn't play it there because I didn't want to DJ. That was one thing I knew for sure. I was like, I'm never doing that again. And I meet my wife, and she's amazing and super supportive and like understood where I was coming from with this whole crazy story. And when we had gotten married, one of the things that I'd always wanted to do and dreamed about at my wedding was to play, because I'd always heard this great story of my dad and my uncles playing at their wedding. And everybody would come and be like, it was so cool when your dad played at his wedding. He was the fucking man. My dad's also a drummer. He's also cooler than me, like fundamentally, like just like on the bar, like way cooler than me. And I was like, I want to do this too. So I didn't want, and what I also don't like, and what I learned from event planning was that I don't love it when a party stops, right? I hate like when you're at a party or at a happy hour and somebody's like, okay, well now we're going to be serious for 5 minutes and tongue them out, whatever. No. So I didn't want like somebody at my wedding being like, and now the groom, Aj Sherman, coming up. So I was like, okay, here's what I want. I'm going to play the guitar solo to an AC/DC song, because we had like a band DJ combo or whatever. I was like, I'm going to play this guitar solo, and then I'll just be up there. I'll play the song I had written for Shayna, and I'll be done. And I had been practicing the song in one key, AJ. And then they told me like 3 weeks before, they're like, hey man, like we play this actually a half step down on your guitar. And I have a very expensive guitar, and it's known for being kind of finicky. This specific version. And I let my guitar sit in this tuning for about 3 weeks, really to just let it stay there and be ready, because guitars really function on tension, right? So like the wood needs to kind of recalibrate to the tension you're putting it at in order to stay in tune. Something I never thought about before. Yeah, but anyway, shit. Right. So I'm going up to play this guitar solo, and I see this guy running to my guitar and frantically tuning it, because they had started the song in standard fucking tuning and not this alternate tuning that I had been preparing for 3 weeks. So my solo died real bad, not so good, not usable on the video. My videographer didn't even show it.
Probably watches them anyway.
Yeah. But I was able to play my regular, the song I'd written for Shayna. And that was a very big catalyst in saying, I can still do this. I got to try again. And that's kind of how I got back into playing, was like getting that time, getting that moment, was very fun. I didn't want it to be all about me, but I wanted it to be enough to say what I had to say.
Right.
And that was kind of the turning point. So at the end of the day, I'm still playing, I'm still a musician, and I've been playing, this whole time pretty much. But I didn't find out I was going to do it until years after. And the whole experience changed how I felt about music, because it was the first time that music had ever hurt me. And it was like the first time where it wasn't an escape or a help or a passion. It was like a literal gut punch, and changed my whole shit.
I hear you. Okay. First question I have for you.
Yes.
Tomorrow I'm having this party. Would you like to virtually be?
No, thank you.
Yes. This question came up and I saw it. Is this why you didn't go the rabbi route? Because they found out about your kegs and eggs. And that question was asked before you mentioned that it affected grad school and everything else.
Absolutely. This is actually a great question. Yes. 2 parts. The first part is it directly stopped me from being able to go to grad school. But I had decided I didn't want to be a rabbi a little bit earlier than that, only because, and this is very inside baseball, inside Judaism kind of thing. The way that rabbis were being taught and educated at that time was not what I would say what the world needs. And that somebody who's 24, who doesn't know a lot about the world, going directly into rabbinical school and then given a congregation at 30 or 31, school tribunal was very annoying. But ultimately, I didn't like that practice, and I wanted to kind of like live my life and not think about helping all of Judaism at 27 or 28. I felt like I needed to learn more about the world and life and experience some shit. So I'm not ruling it out. I'm not saying it'll never happen, but it definitely, those two things kind of were divergence, you know what I mean? And like, then the further incident really was the capper. That was the closer.
You were looking for something with a better soundtrack.
Yes.
Now I gotta ask, what? All right, you said 6:15. First of all, you got fucked up before you got there.
Definitely.
So when the cops are gonna arrest you, they could have got you on that.
Yes.
Like, so now at 6:15, you're playing music. You're playing just, oh, hey, how are you? Let's talk chat music. What were you playing when you had the whole party bumping?
That's a great question. I love it. Okay. So I kind of had like an intro piece that I had constructed, because mashups, unlike regular music, I think is constructed. It's built upon, right? You're taking a drum or a bass line, and then you're building on top of that. So I had my first, like the opening 10 seconds is the guitar line from Seven Nation Army. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. So I had a Backstreet Boys sample that I would play that would go, everybody grew to the music, everybody jam. And then it would go right into Seven Nation Army and Hypnotize by Biggie. And it would just crush. It would just like people would be like, oh my God. And then I would take that funky drum bass, right? And I would kick it over to the Bee Gees Staying Alive on that drum and that kick. Like, and then I would do Daft Punk. And then it would go on to Eminem and like a whole bunch of defunct Daft Punk mashups that I would stack on top of each other. And like that's like my opening, and people would really enjoy that because it was just a very fun time to listen to electro, right? Like it was a fun time to like electronic music. And then when I started to get going, I had a great mashup that I loved of or what I would do as the mashup which is what's their stupid name? Fake Blood Beeper with Lady Gaga Telephone. So you'd hear like beep 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 beepa, and then you'd hear you know, I don't da 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 da, and it like worked so good, and it was funny to have like beeper and telephone together because this is before this, right? Like we didn't have that yet, so it was like, yes, that was my favorite mashup to perform for sure. It was very fun, and that was once you hit that 128 BPM, that dance beat, people are ready to go.
All right, so I'm gonna ask you this, okay? It's
Please.
10 years later now from this incident. Did you start this riot?
Well, so you know,
the riot in the basement. I'm not talking about the
no, I know.
It's like those people that were in the basement, they could
Yes.
not have started everything that happened. It was a noise violation.
Right, I know.
And
No,
police coming in riot gear may start a riot.
well, I didn't say this part about it, which I think is irrelevant, right? Like this to me, I think is irrelevant. Like the reason the cops showed up to the house, not the reason why they were in riot gear. The reason they came to the house because they said that somebody had a gun or somebody had a knife or something. And like it was never substantiated, it was never found. Nope, it was exactly. So like that's why I don't even like saying it, because it doesn't matter, right? You know what I mean? What really matters was like there was cops in riot gear in a college basement at 6 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday to arrest my crazy ass. You know what I mean? Like that's ridiculous. Like I would have walked out nicely. You know what I mean? Like they could have just asked, you know, like it wasn't even that I wasn't resisting. So I don't know if I started the riot, but I would definitely say the people who started the party with me went out into the riot, and you know, their story. I don't know what happened after that.
I hear you. Were you playing music when the riot cops came down the steps?
I was turning down. I was like trying to figure out what was going on. You know what I mean? I didn't know if the party had stopped. I didn't know if, you know, I kind of just let it go. You know, like at that point, I'm not thinking about it. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't my first instinct to shut everything down. It wasn't like that wasn't where my head was at. My head was trying to figure out what was happening. You know, like it was because it was so fast. Right. And somebody I was talking to this about earlier was like, you had no idea this was going to happen. I was like, you're so right. You're so right that I was so not prepared for all of
for that shit.
Like, but even when you're playing music or you're playing music in, you know, I guess when you're DJing in college, you could always expect the cops to come. Right. But it wasn't like that. I didn't fully understand like the gravity of like how it was all functioning. You know, I was just stupid and ignorant, and I was messed up, and I thought that this would be fun and that I would like impress my friends and like maybe I could do it again and maybe get paid. You know, like that was kind of it. It was I wish I had thought faster. Had I thought faster, I would have just said fuck the stereo shit, grabbed my laptop, put it under my shirt, and ran upstairs. You know, like there's like 80 different things I would have done differently at this point. You know, like that's part of it.
Now, one of the things you could have done differently is played a track to get them to start dancing once they came downstairs. Now, if you did that, what do you think you would have played for them? Whoop, whoop, that's the sound of the police.
Maybe that one, maybe like the bad boys, what you gonna do? Or any song by the Police. I love a more meta joke, you know what I mean? So like if like Message in a Bottle is playing and I'm getting arrested, like that would have been a fun visual. You know, that's a movie moment, you know, like that transcends.
When they had you should have started singing. You'd be like, someone please call 911.
Yeah. They would have loved it, you know. Oh my God. And they were so mad. Like it was, oh my God.
Yeah. if I'm a cop and I gotta get dressed up in riot gear at 7 o'clock in the morning, oh yeah, I'm knocking somebody's ass out.
Yeah, they were not thrilled. You know, it was crazy though, because when you, or like if you go and anybody watches the videos, and you go and look it up, like it just, you see like this balls of people to interact with the cops in just like this totally different way. And it was like consequenceless to them. Like the girl running at the police, like you didn't think you were going to get in trouble. Like you thought that was like, okay, like what planet do you live on? Like it was I don't know. It was I've been pulled over a couple of times, you know, none of it really was ever terrifying, but like, I still fear them. And I didn't know anybody at the time who was like an active cop who like was like, oh, my dad's friend, Bill, he's a cop. I love and respect them. Yes, this is it. Oh my God, dude. So see, they're throwing microwaves and stuff out of the building. And like, look at these kids.
I know, it really is. Oh, no way! They're not gonna get it.
You said they're not gonna get it.
Yeah, man.
They're not gonna. They better have run.
Let's see. Is that kidding? Oh wait, the bad boy showed up.
They just hit like 10 kids.
They didn't hit 10 kids.
So like this is one of the streets. This is I think the street across from mine.
Oh, hell yeah.
And it did, like they didn't disperse them, you know what I mean? Like there's still a huge there's maybe 1,000 people here, you know, and they're just going out continuing to party. And you know, obviously like this is before they're even, you know, they had gotten all their buddies and gotten all their gear and shit. And they're chanting asshole at that. That's crazy. Is that crazy?
Yo. And then number one, thank you for realizing and addressing the fact that things would have been different if you would have looked different.
Absolutely.
And after watching that video, there was a lot of people that need sunscreen on the daily. And this shit would not have happened even if it was half black people, I'd say, or things like that. But nevertheless, these motherfuckers is getting like this over some eggs.
Over some fucking green eggs, man.
Green eggs. Green eggs and green beer.
What the fuck? Like, I don't even love anything that much, you know, like that I'm going to flip a car for some eggs. What the hell? Oh,
at
my
7
God.
a.m. This is at
7
7. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And then those are the rich kids, because obviously they had the video and they couldn't tell. They were like, the cops hit like 10 kids. That's not hitting. Trust me, that is not hitting.
Nope.
That's, excuse me, move out the way.
Exactly. That is, it's not the same thing. And it was just like, it was so weird because I wasn't there. I wasn't a part of that. You know what I mean? Like that wasn't me at all, really. 100%. Like I'm home in my little house getting high, watching cartoons. You know what I mean? Like I'm not out there at all. And it was just so crazy, especially to live on that street, to live in that area, to see that happen. And like, it was absolutely crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Can't make this up. Can't make that up.
See that? So, all right, I'm going to ask to everybody that is watching, those on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, if you have any last comments, questions, concerns, whatever they may be, submit them now, please. Because my man sat in the cop car longer than his set was.
That's so true. That's so true. I'm just like, just starting. Oh my God. Oh my God. It was like a dark basement, and I'm in a basement right now, so I'm having PTSD. Oh my God. I should have thought about that.
It looks like your chest hairs are starting to turn green too.
Oh no. Oh my God.
So AJ, I'm going to ask you, I ask all my guests this. From the time that you came on to this episode to the time that you leave this episode, how would you like people to remember you?
I'm thinking about this. So I
do not control
I know.
the future. I'm not the person at the school. I'm not somebody that is a rabbi controlling that. I am not the one that is hiring you for your next virtual gig yet.
that music is fun, and that no matter what, whenever if it hurts you, it's because I don't take the blame off of myself, right? Like, I could have thought maybe a little bit of forethought and said, no, my whole life is different. The butterfly effect, right? But like that experience and like all the life lessons I learned between the year 2011 and 2017, like, I don't, like I still was listening and loving it and wanted to find my way back. And that, like, if you love something enough and that you want to do it, you owe it to yourself to try. And then if you want to go beyond that, that's on you. But I think that for me, it was like an inescapable thing. Like I had to get back and do more. I had to revisit it. I couldn't let my chapter end there. And I didn't want to be telling to my kids, or anybody in the future saying like, yeah, I DJ'd this party and that was the last time I ever thought about doing music in front of anybody. I had to reclaim that. And that is so important, to reclaim your shit, and I guess that's a long answer, but that if you love something enough, it's okay to take breaks. It's okay to stop. It's okay to think about what you're doing. It's okay to be thoughtful in the execution. And that's almost more important than just doing it. And that, yeah.
All caps. I agree with that. I fully. And also the fact that I forgot to even mention the fucking shit is that's in your blood. And that's what really saved you. I bet you if you didn't go back to music, your parents and family would have showed up to your place in riot gear.
Right. Yes. Absolutely.
Like that's the thing. It's just that if that's in your blood, so like, oh, good. They're probably like, when after you told them the fact, that's like, good shit. Hell yeah. My son was DJing that shit. Hell yeah, in the basement.
Yes. They were as supportive as they could be, and that's an amazing thing. I'm so thankful for that. Yeah. A million different ways this could have gone. Having them on my side was a good way to go.
Yeah, like it's in your fucking blood. You do it. Like that's not ain't shit that you could. I mean, shit happens, okay? And like you said, it could have been way worse. Like you could have been you could have been a black man.
Definitely. And could have kicked the shit out of me. Could have really fucked me up.
you could have gotten maybe suspended from school or something like that.
Oh,
It could have been way things worse. But since music is your blood, music saved your ass. Now there were 2 questions that were submit while you were answering that. Now, do you still talk to folks who were part of that event? And where have they net out in life?
That's a great question. The original guy who asked me to do the party was a major asshole. And he originally very early on said he was going to pay the ticket. Did not. Originally very early on. Yeah. Stupid. I was stupid to believe that. Then at a certain point, I had like a piece of music equipment of his. And I was like, I'm keeping this until we move further. And he was like really pushing me hard. And he gave it to me and I never saw him again. So Mike, you're a dick. Fuck you. You know, so like he didn't help or anything. He let me take the full blame. It's okay. No problem. My roommates though, I stayed buddies with and I actually roomed with one of those roommates again, who was a very cool dude. And, you know, they're okay. That roommate guy, he's doing very well in Brooklyn. My other roommate guy, not as great, but fine. You know, I didn't stay close with them. We are not buddies now. They didn't come to my wedding. We didn't, you know, figure it out.
It's all right. They weren't in that video trying to flip the van.
Definitely. None of those people were my friends. None of them. 0%.
And then the second question. Is this a story you tell everyone to show that you're a badass?
Well, is it badass? So saying that it's badass is very nice because I don't think about it that way, but I understand the value in being able to say, like, I was arrested for DJing. Like, that's a very loaded sentence. And have I used it for that effect? Yes. Do I use it a lot? No. And not recently at all.
Okay. Shit. Listen, it's about how you tell the story. You can use it to your advantage anyway. I could be like, yo, I could throw a banger. That's
yes.
Like, yo, you need a DJ? I got you. You want to go on YouTube and see the bangers I throw? Look, boom.
Definitely. Definitely.
Oh, all right. Oh man. I'd like to thank you for coming on ICMTU and sharing that story. Now, before we say goodbye to you, are there any last things that you want to plug, promote, tell people? I would like you right now to take this platform and use this time to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. So how I think it's very fun to know you is that you are AJDUNK and I am AJDONT. And that's a very fun thing. And I didn't get to ask you about where your AJ comes from, but my AJ is also a story of reclamation because I'll never forget, I was in 2nd grade. My parents come up to me and they're like, you know, you could be AJ. And I'm like, what? And they're like, your name is Andrew John. You could be AJ. And I was like, shit, that's awesome. So I was AJ till like 6th or 7th grade. And then I don't know if this happened to you, and we don't have to talk about it if you did, but kids are rough with bullying. And I was a big, fat, weird target in middle school. And I was AJ Gay J for years. And that was rough. So then I went back to Andrew, and then all my old buddies that I had made when I was a little kid, that whole time called me AJ anyway. And then, you know, and then it's also been nice to have, you know, my name and my regular name. Anyway, plugs. AJDONT. That is my handle. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. You can put in AJ Don't. I will come up. If you want to check out my musical comedy stuff, check out my YouTube, AJS Musical Comedy. You will find me. I will come right up. If you like nerdy podcasts about any movies or TV that you nerd out about on, and extending to you, if you would ever like to come on with us and nerd out about any media that you find very interesting and fun, I do a podcast with my best friend who was in the band with me called Long Lost Heroes. We've been doing it since 2017. We've covered everything from Star Wars to Marvel to, you know, really weird stuff. And it's a very fun time. And yeah, AJ Don't. Check me out. I'll follow you right back.
Yeah. Yeah, make sure you give him a follow, everybody. AJDONT, not DU. And also, his name isn't spelled in all caps.
No, it's not.
AJDONT. And yes, hit me up. We'll talk about.
For sure.
Cross promoting, doing all that.
Yeah.
So, thank you for that. Thank you once again. Any last words that you would like to leave with the people?
Thank you so much. If you're listening to the story back and you have any questions for me, you can use the social media to ask any further questions. I'll be happy to answer them. But again, it was super fun to be here and share this with you. I've been following you in this show for a little while, so it's definitely an honor to be here. Thank you very much. And say hi to Zippy for me.
Will do. All right. Thank you. I'll be in touch. Stay safe. Woo! Boy! Kegs and eggs, baby. Kegs and eggs. Who's ready? Kegs and eggs. We're doing kegs and eggs over here, baby. And guess what? We might have a surprise virtual DJ. Just stay tuned. And in order to do that, subscribe. All right, hit that subscribe button, and then you will be updated to know what's going on. So you don't have to text me, hey, AJ, what's going on? When's this? Why don't you tell me this? Because why don't you subscribe? Just hit the button and it does it for me. Please, that's all I ask. Hit that button, subscribe. Go to ajdunk.com. All right, everything's located there. ajdunk.com. Now you know what we got to do. It's that time. We do it every episode. Yeah, good vibes, AJ. I'm gonna take that one for me and for him. Good vibes, good guy. Now that's the story. Yeah, that was a damn story, and we had the paper and the YouTube video to show it. Now we gotta do it. We do it with everybody, so he's no different. We did that. Now, if you think this story is true, let me get in all caps. In the comments, let me get in all caps. Now, if you think this story is false, let me get a nah ho. So, in the comments, if you think this story is true, let me get in all caps. If you don't, for some reason, let me get a nah ho. Now, to get into what we have learned today. Okay. Today, we have learned that if something is in your blood, it's meant for you. You just got to do it. All right. So if it's in there, if it's like, yo, you know that, oh, this is what my family does, this is what we do, then you just got to do it. It's in you. It's natural. Just go ahead and do it. And also, we know that Black Lives Matter, because that shit wouldn't have been the same if it would have been me, DJ. If it would have been AJ Dunk, I would have been AJ. Don't stay here, AJ. Run. So that's what we have learned today. And once again, my name is AJ Dunk, spelled all caps. You can find me at www.ajdunk.com. Make sure you go there and you subscribe. All right. I've got my Facebook, my Instagram, my Twitter. It's all located at ajdunk.com. So go over there. You're going to see stand up. You're going to see sketches. You're going to see soup of the day. And that's all my YouTube page. My YouTube page is on ajdunk.com. So if you go over there, you click those tabs, look around, you've got it all there. And like I said, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend that you know this friend. All right. Appreciate everybody for coming out. Thank you again to my guest, Aj Sherman. You can't put a price on time, and you can't get time back. So I greatly appreciate that. Much appreciated. For real. Respect, all caps. Thank you again to everybody that tuned in. Thank you for watching. Thank you for all the supporters. I appreciate it. Once again, my name is AJ Dunk, spelled all caps. Don't forget, laughter's always in style. And let them know, Ma.